What's going on, guys? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ, fire content only. Here today to talk about Ronald Jones getting signed by the Kansas City Chiefs and what does it mean for his fantasy impact, and obviously what does it mean for CEH. For me personally, I'm going to be telling you today to fade the entire backfield. Just don't do it. Just stay away. Do not do anything. Do not draft these guys. And hey, Dynasty, if you have any type of shares with these guys, I will be getting rid of them as fast as I can because believe it or not, there's Ronald Jones and there's CH Truthers. They're outside just tearing each other guts out right now. So I don't want to waste any more time. So let's get right into the episode. So we are back. Please make sure you hit that link in the bio, prizepicks.com. Sign up today, promo code FCO. Guys, to be set up for success. They're matching up to $100, people. Still going on. You put in 20, you get 20. Put in 50, you get 50. You put in 100, you get 100. It's simple math, people. Go get that cash. Go make some money. Bring home the gold. Now, let's get into it. Ronald Jones was signed by the Chiefs. He's coming into a backfield that's already messy. It's already been a headache, for a guy who had a lot of shares of CEH. Now, CEH is a former first-round fantasy pick, and I definitely think him going in at 111 to 112, a lot of managers were a little bit upset of the return that they were getting. I know if you follow me on Twitter, if you love this page, this channel, you've been here for a while, I have not been a CH truther. I have not seen anything for me to say, hey, CH is a first-round pick. But hey, that's gone. That victory lap has already been said. But now we're in a situation of where do we rank CEH? Where do we put him, in our fantasy rankings and stuff? Right now, I have him at RB 23, really, with adding Ronald Jones. So that's outside the top 20. So how do we address these guys in the draft? How do we address these guys when we still have shares? The problem is a lot of dynasty people who have him now, they have him as their RB2. A lot of teams that are suffering right now that can't sell CEH, dealing with him as the RB1. But hey, these are things that we need to address and be able to pivot. So right now, I'm selling both these guys. Ronald Jones, out of here. CEH, out of here if I can. A lot of people are thinking right now that CEH is safe in this matter of adding a caliber running back as a Ronald Jones instead of like a Melvin Gordon, a Leonard Fournette, which, it could get scary for CEH. Like a Melvin Gordon or a Leonard Fournette coming in, that completely shuts down CEH's value because these guys are all around backs. They can catch and they can run. So that's literally 1 and 2 where on the basic surface of the ability of these running backs coming in. So bringing in a guy like Ronald Jones has been struggling, losing his job to a Leonard Fournette and having problems, catching the ball out of the backfield. A lot of people are thinking CH has the leg up and has that PPR upside just based on him having a good, pass catching ability. And then it's on tape, college tape, and even the opportunities he's got in the Chiefs offense, catching the ball in the backfield, he looked good. He didn't look terrible, you know what I mean? So he has that leg up, but in reality, it's not really worth really saying he has the leg up. It's kind of make believe to think that they're not going to split that role either. Because if we take a look at the Chiefs, basically running back targets, total targets since, Patrick Mahomes became a starter in 2018. So 2018, they ranked 25th in running back targets. That's 97 targets total. 2019, they ranked 16th, 111 targets total. 2020, 14th, 111 targets total. Then last season, 2021, they ranked 14th for 112 targets. Do we see the trend here? Do we see that it's not really anything that they had the leg up? So you're probably thinking, hey, well, if CEH takes over that role and primarily takes over that role, then he should be fine, right? No, just historically, just based on, like I said, 2018, what we're looking at, all these running backs in this running back core, which is a little messy because who's to say they don't bring back Jerick McKinnon? I mean, I can honestly see that happening, him coming back for the cheap. But if we look at it, man, now we're looking at 2021 for the 112 targets. You have Darrell Williams with 57 targets, CH with 23, Jerick McKinnon with 20. So that equals to 112 targets. Now, 2020, CEH 54 targets, Darrell Williams 26, Le'Veon Bell 17. So you're seeing the whole entire wide receiver core being involved into this pass catching ability. And it's like these targets, the target share isn't worth mentioning to say one has the leg up on the other. So let's look at 2019, where they ranked 16th in running back total targets. You have Damian Williams, 37, LaShawn McCoy, what a year. 34 targets, Darrell Williams, 20 targets, and a total of 111 targets. Like I said, all three of these running backs are being involved in this target share, which is a little bit messy. And I definitely think, Ronald Jones comes in with some type of passing ability or some type of passing role, even though it hasn't been great. You know what I mean? So you can't think right now that CH has his stock rising just based on the pass catching ability. That's what I'm trying to stress right now, where it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if he does get the leg up because they're not going to be passing the ball to the running back that much. I mean, Tyreek Hill is gone, but they did make some small additions as well, trying to replace him with Juju and MVS. So they're probably trying to stick on that same page, on that same role of pass heavy to the wide receivers and, of course, Travis Kelce. These running backs, I don't see them getting involved heavily, in the passing game when historically they just haven't been that great or they just have not been that involved. So I don't see anything really changing for this season to say CH is going to absorb majority of these targets. Like even if CH gets 60 targets, you know what I mean? That still doesn't make him as, the guy that I'm going to want to target in drafts when I have guys that are getting 60 targets, off minimum, like 70 targets, et cetera, that can actually do something with those targets out of the backfield. Because one, they're actually the RB1 for the team. Their rushing attempts are over 200s. Their total touches are in the 250s or the 300s, et cetera, et cetera. Now, again, he's outside the top 20, so we need to have the bar and be realistic of how we're going to address the draft, how we're going to address the current shares we have with CEH. So right now, I'm selling CEH for whatever I can get for picks, whatever for, future picks or whatever the case may be. I'm also selling Ronald Jones as well because the hype train a little bit is there for him, thinking that he's going to get, majority of the touches, that he's going to get, most of the rushing attempts, goal line duty, et cetera, when, he hasn't been known for that right now. Like we have to really not forget about his role that he had with Tampa Bay. It's not like he didn't have chances. It's not like he hadn't had opportunities. He makes tons of mistakes and then he gets benched. So who's to say that doesn't carry over with Andy Reid? And then some will say that will lead into CEH being a favorite, but that third running back always gets involved some way, somehow, in an annoying way, shows up and shows out. So we shall just hit the pause button on trying to rise either one of these guys' stocks because, again, as a total running back unit for the targets, for the PPR guys like me that love PPR formats, I'm not seeing anything moving the needle right now for either one of them. I don't see myself going after Ronald Jones just based on him being a pure runner with a little bit of upside of, basically a pass catching. Now, CEH, I don't see myself targeting him at all. So it just comes to the conclusion to fade the entire backfield all at once, just fade it completely because one, the Chiefs are not known for their running backs to be these pass catching heavy, running backs that become relevant. If they can give me a running back that gets like 80 targets and at least, let's say 68 catches, that is something that I will be interested in getting outside the top 20. But these two, man, they're going to be splitting that role in half, and it's going to be disgusting to witness, to deal with, to be a manager that has to have these guys on the rosters and they're sitting in your starting lineup burning you. Expectations are, oh, I want more than 10 points. I want more than 15 points this week from this guy, but it's up in the air because you don't know who's going to be running that 60-40 split, who's going to be running that 70-30 split because X guy made a mistake, fumbled the ball, and now he's benched, et cetera, et cetera. So just fade the entire backfield. Just do yourself a favor. Sell the current shares you have and just live free, stress-free, man, because I'm telling you, it's not worth the headache, man. I know a lot of CEH owners are like, oh, man, this is the year, maybe we can get something out of them. And no, you're just disappointed year after year after year. So he only played 10 games last season, so I'm not going to fault him for that. But with the 10 games that he had players like Darrell Williams, more rushing attempts, more yards, more targets, just overall just looking like the better back, basically with missing out with CEH. But overall, man, you guys, hopefully you take the great information here, apply it to your fantasy teams, apply it to your knowledge, your notes, and make sure you just address the draft properly. Make sure the current shares you have, get rid of them now. Do not hold on to them because you're going to hold on and it's going to be too late. Right now is the hype train. Right now is the hype train for CEH and Ronald Jones Truthers going at it right now. They're ripping each other's guts out. If you're on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Real Deal Fantasy HQ, and then you'll be able to see a little bit what I'm seeing on the Twitter space of what's going on with these guys and the Truthers, and they're just going at it right now. It's like Avengers Civil War. Like, you remember that? That's basically what's going on. But hey, I'll see you guys next week for another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Peace.